Fill her up.
You're listening to the Gas Digital Network.
Conceive, believe, achieve. Shut the f*** up.
You're listening to Believe You Me with Michael the Count Bisping.
You know my name yet?
And Anthony Lionheart Smith.
Everyone just needs a Merlin's cream ale to start your day.
Yeah. What is that?
Big ass beer from a local brewery here.
Big ass beers. Talking to big ass beers. Mm-hmm. Looks like Conor McGregor had a few big ass beers over the weekend. There's the segue.
That's a good one.
Welcome to the show, everybody. Yeah, we'll start with that. That was doing the rounds yesterday. I'm sitting there having a barbecue, just looking at the phone. And there's Conor McGregor. In fact, the caption was Conor McGregor living his best life. I'm like, yeah.
Oh, the caption I got was even better. It was like Conor McGregor updated training camp footage. I was like,
yeah. And then I think I saw one from Bussing with the Boys, Michael Chandler training for you 303, and it shows him, with his gigantic quads doing stuff, slamming balls and all the rest of it. McGregor training for 303, and he's there. He's in the club. He's loving it. I know which one I'd rather be doing.
Yeah, 100%.
Hey, you know what? Fair play. Look, listen. That's not the ideal training camp scenario, but if he's not doing it every night, I mean, he looks like he's lost weight. When he went on that, he did a live stream last week. You probably saw clips of it. You see that?
Yeah.
He looks to be in really good shape. Looks like he's slimmed down. And
he looks lean.
Yeah, he looks lean. So he's obviously been training. You know what I mean? So, yeah, ideally, but 6 weeks, he'll be fine.
Yeah, he'll be okay. It's not that big of a deal. There is a part of me that's jealous of, like, I think, we've been married a long time. He's been with her a long time. And they, because of their lifestyle and his financial gain, like he lives a different life than we live. So he can just be out in all these random places with his wife. All the bullshit that we've seen online and the stuff that's been said about him, she still loves the absolute shit out of him and is like seemingly ultimately attracted to Conor, like the person. They seem so happy. Like, and not that me and my wife aren't, but like they got a shit ton of kids. They got 3 kids now. I think they just had another one. And they're still able to go out and have time together and club it up. It's not something me and my wife would do, but like, it's pretty cool to see them living such a good life,
Exactly. Hey, fair play. He smashed it and he's doing well. Just the criticisms are about the fight camp. And I say, I think most people, and of course, I mean, them two have been together a long time. My wife and I have been together 25 years. That's why we were just in Costa Rica. It's a great thing. But I think most people, when they look at that, they go, wow, that's not ideal. Here we go. He's got the shirt off. It looks like he's at a club, but he's at his pub there. I think it was their football team won something. So, the celebrations got out of hand. And listen, that's the way it goes. I don't think he planned for that, but you have one. That leads to 2. Yeah. Next thing, you got your shirt off.
You've never been in training camp and just let her loose a little bit too much when you expect to?
100%. 100%. There would always be, probably one night where I kind of went off the rails. You know what I mean?
One night every training camp?
Yeah, generally. I mean,
me too. I always have one.
There's definitely been occasions where there's been more than one.
Yeah.
But generally, like when I fought Dan Henderson, I was in Las Vegas for a long time. Do you know what I mean? So, there was
the second time or the first time?
Oh, the first time. The second one was in Manchester at 5 o'clock in the morning. Right. Just like UFC 304 is going to be. But listen, it's 6 weeks away.
I used to, at the very beginning of every training camp, it was almost like a ritual that I had. It was with Chris Camozzi. The first would be the first Tuesday of every training camp. I would just absolutely destroy myself. It was always because I had way back in the day, this is a while ago, but I would always have Wednesdays completely off. So we would train really hard Monday, Tuesday, and then really hard Thursday, Friday, Saturday. And then I'd have Mondays and Wednesdays off. And that first Tuesday, me and Chris would go out in Denver and just absolutely destroy ourselves. And then you'd be right back on the rails. So it'd be like about the same amount that Conor's out. It'd be like 6 or 7 weeks out.
It's like a little reset. You know what I mean? Yeah. And this is going to go seem really crazy because obviously any sports scientists or people like that would say, what is Bisping talking about? When you're cut from a certain type of cloth, it doesn't matter. It doesn't. He's still going to show up. He's still going to fight his ass off, right? Okay. He's never had the best cardio because in the first couple of rounds, he's explosive as hell. Do you know what I mean? But it's just when you're that kind of person, like that kind of greatness, it's like a juxtaposition. You need that madness to be able to achieve. Like, look at Mike Tyson. Look at John Jones. Look at Chuck Liddell. Chuck Liddell was notorious for it. Do you know what I mean? Just because, you know, you live on that edge. Do you know what I mean? You're not a regular person. And so he can go out, he can have his top off in the pub and he can enjoy himself and he can have a few beers and whatever bloody else he wants to do. As long as he shows up on weight, everything's out of his system and he's ready to rock. God bless him.
Yeah. I think sometimes you just need that. It was always good for me. Like that Wednesday, I would feel terrible. I'm like, God, you're an idiot. All right. Time to dial it back in. And then you're good for the rest of camp. But like, if you don't have that one time where you got to like, just let go, then you're like, you spend the whole training camp to like just barely hold on to it. You know, like, I just want to go out.
I'm talking back in the days when I lived in England. You know, I'd end up with the old boys and, you know, it turned into a bit of a mental session. And my wife on a Saturday morning be like, what are you doing? You've got to fight. What are you doing? I'm like, babe, it's fine. It's 6 weeks away. Don't worry about it. You know, on the flip side, there is a danger for Michael Chandler, and that's overtraining. For sure. People don't understand.
Going hard.
Going hard, being super disciplined, not, you know, letting loose a little bit here and there and taking time out to just be who you are as a person. Listen, who Michael Chandler is as a person is not the person Conor McGregor is. But if he needs to exercise those demons, if you will, if he wants to go out and enjoy himself and blow off some steam and all the rest of it, and then absolutely kill it on Monday or Tuesday. Monday, he might be a bit tender today. Tuesday, you make up for it Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and then you have a hard one Saturday, and then you're good to go. It doesn't matter. Yeah. Have you been overtrained?
Yeah. And it's in these moments that like Michael Chandler's kind of having right now where you feel like this is the big one. This is the, like, you got to give it everything you got, but it's been stretched out for so long that every time you see a video of him or see him, he's in great shape and he's working hard and he's training. And even when he's traveling, he's training on the road. Like, part of me does look like, God damn, man, you got to back off a little bit. You're still a ways out. Like, you can't just put it to the floor right now and just go, because you're going to burn yourself out mentally and physically. So yeah, I have, where I've had to just back off and take, you know, like where the coaches will be like, hey, like, you'll show up and they'll say, you got to get out of here. Like, take a day, take the weekend, come back on Monday, just refresh yourself, hang out, eat some shitty food, enjoy yourself, and then come back. We got plenty of time.
Perillo used to tell me my problem was that I wanted it so bad. I wanted it so bad, it was a detriment to me. You know, I would work so hard, go, full steam ahead all the time. And it's like, sometimes you just got to relax. You know what I mean? Not stress it and have a little balance. That's the perfect word. Not that I'm advising any young fighters to go out there and get shit face halfway through training camp. But McGregor's going to be all right. This weekend, of course, is UFC 302. It's a big one. Islam Makhachev versus Dustin Poirier. And happy Memorial Day, and big respects to everyone, all the veterans around the world. Of course, Anthony's already ready for the Memorial Day barbecue by the looks of things.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we're ready to go. I messed my schedule up a little bit, but the family's out. They're already doing their thing, and then we're going to do this, and then I'll go meet up with them. It's kind of nice to have the house to myself and kind of quiet for a little bit, though, to be honest.
What is it you're drinking again? You started the show saying.
There's this local spot here. We went and ate yesterday, and they gave me this. It's called Merlin's Cream Ale. It's just a big, huge beer that I tried there last night, and then they gave me a big one to go.
Nice.
Just priming it up.
Send us a few and I'll drink one on the show as well. All right, this episode is sponsored by BetterHelp, which is a very, very convenient way for you to start therapy, for you to become the best version of yourself, for you to take the problems that you have by the horns and just deal with it. Become the best version. Stop drinking. Stop using drugs. Stop being a bad-tempered maniac. Stop procrastinating. Stop arguing with your wife. Stop feeling, like the world's collapsing in. Just start trying to better your life, and you can do that with BetterHelp. As I say, if you're thinking of giving it a try, there is no better way than BetterHelp. It's all done online. It's designed to be convenient, flexible, suited to your schedule. You just fill out a brief questionnaire to get matched with a licensed therapist, and you can switch therapists at any time for no additional charge. So as I say, it's the easiest and the most convenient way to give it a try. All you got to do is go to betterhelp.com/believe and you'll get 10% off your first month. betterhelp.com/believe. If you don't do it for yourself, do it for your loved ones. I say that all the time, but it's absolutely true. betterhelp.com/believe to get 10% off your first month. Dustin Poirier says this weekend, there's a good possibility it's the last time that we're going to get to see him fight. What do you think about that?
That's no surprise. Excuse me. No surprise there. If he loses, I think I kind of felt the same way when I was thinking about kind of his career. If he loses, could he fight his way back up to a title or at least a title contention spot or be in big fights? For sure. But does he want to? You know, I have similar feelings as Dustin. Like, unless there's a really good reason to be doing this, like I put myself in a very similar position as far as just crossroads of my career, where how old is Dustin? 34?
35, I believe.
Yeah, so we're both 35. Say we live to be 70. We've already lived half our lives. So we have a whole nother lifetime ahead of us that's exactly the same length as we just lived. So like we have a whole nother lifetime of shit we could be doing. Do we really want to waste 3, 4, 5 more years when we could be moving on and building something else? And you know, like he has a daughter and he's got a wife and he's got businesses. And like, I get it when he said, you know, I want to be a dad and a husband and have a schedule. Like that really like resonated with me. Like a schedule would be really nice where like every day you get up at this time and you take your kid to school and then you go get coffee and then you come back and you do your yard work or whatever that schedule is. As a fighter, you don't really have it. Like you get into it a little bit and then boom, you get a fight and then you're off to training camp and then everything's up. Like your schedule's all over the place. So I get that part of it. And I understand what he means. Like, could you do it? Yeah. Does he need the money? No. Does he need to prove anything else other than trying to get the title, the undisputed title? I don't think so. So I understand, like, especially with like my baby, I always think like if I fight another 5 years, like she'd be 7 years old and like, then I'm going to start, you know, like it's got to be for a reason. So I understand.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is though, and this is what's hard for a lot of fighters, because Dustin Poirier is passionate. It's his dream. It's his goal. Like a lot of fighters want to be champion of the world. When it's all said and done, he wants to be able to retire and hang the gloves up, knowing that he did it. He climbed the mountain. I mean, he was the interim champion, so it's almost there, but it's not quite. But this sounds really disrespectful to someone like Tom Aspinall, but it's like, it's a great consolation prize. You know what I mean? But it's not quite the thing, and there's no disrespect intended. But you do obsess over it, you know, but ultimately, you know, if he walks away, he's got nothing but pride. If he looks back on his career, he fought at the highest level. He provided so much entertainment. All right. You won't be able to become the champ, but he turned his life around. He's provided a great future for himself. As you say, talking about schedules, he can become a regular guy because, as you know, mixed martial arts or the path of a boxer, there is nothing else. You know what I mean? And it's hard to balance life in general. It's hard to be a father. It's hard to pursue other dreams and goals and avenues because it takes up
definitely the way you want to. Definitely doing it the way you want to. Like, how many times have you guys, as a family, had a vacation or a trip or shit for your kids' schools or programs or wrestling matches or whatever, and then you get a fight pop up like 2 weeks later, and like, well, all of that shit doesn't matter.
We were engaged for 15 years.
Yeah, right.
I mean, you got to be sure. You can't rush into these things. No, but the reality is, I proposed, but we didn't get married for 15 years. And it was because a fight camp would always come up. So it would always go on the back burner. You know,
right.
and we say, okay, we're doing this. And then all of a sudden, right, the book a fight, then you got a press conference, then you got a tour, or you got to do something, a training camp predominantly, you know, so it would always get put off on the back burner. All right, after this fight, we'll figure it out. And then it happens again and again and again. And before you know it, 15 years have passed. And she's like, listen, dickhead, are we getting married or not?
Right. You're like, well, I think we were engaged for a long time for the same reason. Like, you know, you miss a lot. And it like you said, the fight is all that matters when you get it. And so, and I understand the, like, we'll talk about having vacations and like, oh, it would be really cool to go do this time in 7 or 8 months, or this time next year, or whatever. You're like, yeah, hopefully it works out.
Like, yeah. But like, I still have those conversations with Rebecca because, like, you know, I'll say, right, so we'll book, because we loved Costa Rica. Oh my God, we can't wait to go back. And we're talking about going back in November. And I'm like, as long as nothing comes up. Yeah. And she says, well, hold on. Well, if something comes up, you say no. And I'm like, well, there might be a movie popping around there. There's rumblings of it. If that comes off, then we can't do it. And she's like, Jesus Christ, we've had this for years. So there's always going to be something anyway. And these are good problems to have. I think if he loses, then yeah, okay, he'll probably retire. 3 shots at the undisputed belt. You know, he gave it his all. He's made the money, all the rest of it. I think if he wins, he's going to defend that belt, right? He said he's not interested. You've got to. I mean, I had the eye issue. Rebecca said, right, okay, so you finally got your title fight. Are you going to retire? Win or lose? I'm like, babe, if I lose, I'll retire. If I win, you're out of your goddamn mind.
We're getting them pay-per-view points. We're getting
the big bucks, you know. So I think if Dustin pulls it off, I think we'll see him stick around. I think if he loses, then that will be a great time and the perfect send-off, and it would be emotional because Dustin's given the sport so much. You know, he's been a fantastic ambassador. I mean, he's fought with nothing but his heart and soul. That last fight with Benoit Saint-Denis, that just summarizes Dustin Poirier to an absolute T. And when you look at the record of Dustin Poirier and you compare it to Islam Makhachev's, I did a video the other day, Dustin's record smokes Islam's, which sounds like I was being disrespectful to Islam. I'm not. But when you look at Islam, yeah, he fought Bobby Green. Then who was it? Then it was for the belt, I think, against Oliveira.
Charles.
And then twice against Volkanovski.
Yep.
When you look at Poirier, I mean,
it's a Shark Tank.
It's insane. Hold on, I'm just trying to bring it up here. You got Max Holloway multiple times, Eddie Alvarez, Justin Gagey, Anthony Pettis, Conor McGregor 3 times, Jim Miller, Dan Hooker, Oliveira, Chandler, Gagey again, Benoit Saint-Denis.
That's tough.
In terms of experience, he's fought the tougher guys.
Yeah.
I think that's fair to say. Now, competition in common, Islam beat Charles Oliveira, whereas Dustin lost. How do you see this fight going down?
Well, with the utmost respect to Dustin Poirier, he's fighting an uphill battle for sure. He's not going to win a decision. I would imagine. I just don't think he wins a decision. I think it's going to be too tough. I think he's a better finisher in more ways, I guess. He can finish in more ways than Islam can. I think that the battle is going to be keeping Islam off of his back. I think it's going to be the keeping himself off the fence, because Dustin does tend to fight. He does tend to back himself to the cage sometimes. So, because he doesn't mind fighting from there, but you cannot do that with someone like Islam or Habib or anybody that fights like that. So, you know, the wrestling is going to be easier to deal with if he can keep it in the center. Islam and Habib, those types of grapplers, like those two guys specifically, didn't always do real well wrestling, taking people down and keeping them there in space, like in the center of the octagon. It's always running them to the fence, and then they drag them down, work to their back, start handcuffing people, lace the legs. So I think that's the fight, is to stay off the fence, stay in the middle. I think he can do really well on his feet. I think he's the harder puncher. Islam is not bad on his feet though. So I think he's got to catch him and hurt him early, and defend takedowns. But I do think he's got an uphill battle.
Now, of course, the one loss on Islam's record is to Adriano Martins, which was kind of a minute or so into the fight. He caught him with the right hook from the southpaw stance, which is Dustin Poirier's best shot. So, of course, he's only human. He can be knocked out, but that was a long time ago. And now he's on a ridiculous win streak, and no doubt.
You know, Dustin's right-handed.
Is he right-handed?
He's right-handed. He's
right-handed southpaw.
Yeah.
I'm a left-handed orthodox.
Oh yeah, that's you might be the only left-handed orthodox fighter I know.
I'm just shit. I don't know what I'm doing. No, so listen, can Dustin catch him on the feet? Yeah, of course he can. Right? Islam's only human. Is it likely to happen? I don't think so. When you look at Volkanovski was able to drop Islam once or twice. So again, if Volk can do it, so can Dustin Poirier. However, these are the problems for Islam. If you look at the fight with Benoit Saint-Denis, Benoit was able to bully him early. He was able to really beat him up early. But Dustin, because he's so goddamn tough, you know what I mean? And he's so resilient and so durable, was able to continue to fight, get back to his feet, taking damage, was almost finished multiple times. But the problem was Benoit Saint-Denis, in his aggression, in his output, in his wrestling, in the takedowns which he was forcing, he got tired. Yeah. And it was when he got tired, Dustin finished him. Again, I am not taking anything away from Dustin. I have the utmost respect. But Islam is far more efficient with his takedowns. He's far more graceful with his wrestling. The kind of wrestling that Islam has and Benoit Saint-Denis, it's not in the same conversation. It's not in the same ballpark. And the difference essentially is that because Benoit was using brute strength and forcing them, he got exhausted. Islam's smooth, he's technical, he's precise. He doesn't use nowhere near as much energy when he gets those takedowns. So he's not going to get tired the way that Benoit Saint-Denis did. And of course, once he gets on top, he's a much, much different problem to deal with. So I think it's a massive uphill battle for Dustin Poirier. But hey, I wish him the goddamn best of luck.
I wish him the best for sure. I like your explanation on the Benoit Saint-Denis wrestling versus Islam's wrestling. Islam doesn't, I think probably the most frustrating thing I would imagine if I was fighting Islam is that he doesn't really chase the finish. He kind of just lets it happen. Like he just finds it and he kind of just waits till you give it up. And I feel like Saint-Denis was forcing it. Was just trying to shove a square peg through a round hole and just kept hammering away and just couldn't get it. But Islam just seems like a wet blanket, and I don't mean that in a bad way, but he's just so heavy, and everywhere you turn, he's right there. I think Dustin's going to have a tough time there, so he's got to do to stay away from there. He needs to land something big early. That's my
Rico Rodriguez. Just to further eloquate your points, if that is a word, eloquate. I'm going to further eloquate it. Yeah. Works. You know what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
Just to further dive deeper into that topic about forcing square pegs into round holes. Rico Rodriguez, former heavyweight champion. Back in the day, I was training with him and we were doing some wrestling. And he's like, Mike, you got to finesse it a little bit more and you got to use a bit more technique. I'm like, well, I'm getting the takedowns, aren't I? Because I was a and he's like, yeah, but it's all horsepower. You're doing it with all horsepower. It shouldn't be that hard. And I'm like, well, hold on. I just took you down. He says, yeah, you did. But you're forcing it so much that you're using so much energy. So for anyone that doesn't wrestle or understand what I'm saying, that's what it is. You can do it like that, or you can be smooth and you can glide and you can use their weight against them. And, the art of jiu-jitsu, the gentle art. The gentle art, brother.
Gentle. Didn't Rico have some issues?
Rico has had a lot of issues. Okay, Shout out Rico, by the way.
I was making sure that I was putting the right thing together. I ran into him at a jiu-jitsu thing years ago. It was such a
He's hilarious.
Yeah, he was so funny. And I just vomited at the mouth. Like, cause I wanted like some advice from him. And what did I say? I said something real stupid. Like, so what happened? Like, how'd you it all up? Like, I just word vomited and it sounded so messed up and I looked like such an asshole. But really I was like, how did it all get so messed up so quickly? And then you kind of seemed like you fixed it all and brought it. That was what I wanted to know.
Yeah.
How did it go bad? And then you fixed it, but it really sounded like, how did you your whole life up? Like, that's not what I meant.
Well,
Rico's, oh, you idiot. God,
Rico will probably see this and text me because we still talk. We keep in touch. And he's been on this podcast years ago, back in the early days with Lewis. He's a good dude. I trained with him for years. He came out to England. He was living out there for a while and stuff. So we keep in touch. But essentially, I'm going to butcher this, but it was back in the early days. I think he beat Randy Couture to become the heavyweight champ. So he was a legitimate champ of the old school era. But it was he almost brought the entire UFC down, because they had it, I forget the name of it, but he had a massive henna tattoo of a different casino or something like that on his back. So he almost got the UFC shut down or something like that. So he was gone. He was down the road. Something like that. I apologize to anyone involved if I'm getting that wrong. And Rico.
Well, I apologize to him for word vomiting and making an ass of myself when I was trying to ask him a really sweet question, but it sounded terrible.
No, Rico won't care. He's cool as hell. What was I going to say there? So 302. So who do you think wins, Anthony? Because you won't be with us on Thursday. What is your official prediction?
I'm going to say Dustin. Yeah,
You're putting it out there. Are you trying to will it into existence, or do you actually
but I gotta be unbiased.
I feel like that might happen.
I feel like sometimes some things just fall certain ways. If we're talking about who the better fighter is, who's more efficient, who's more tactical, who's going to win the minutes, minute after minute, win the rounds, round after rounds, probably Islam. But I just feel like something special is going to happen.
Okay.
Like the good guys got to win at some point. You know what I mean?
It's a tough, cold world.
Yeah.
Sometimes the good guys don't win. Nice guys finish last.
Yeah. Not all of them. You're a nice guy.
I'm a great guy.
You didn't finish last? You didn't finish last?
I did. I got choked out and knocked out in my last 2 fights.
Yeah, but you were on top of the world when it happened, though.
Yeah, I was. Okay. I'm a nice guy.
Enough about me.
Enough about me. This episode is sponsored by Mando deodorant from the makers of Lumi. Mando deodorant is clinically proven to block and control odor for 72 hours wherever you smell. So make the switch to Mando whole body deodorant and stop smelling like a sweaty person. Okay, listen, the reality is some people struggle, some people perspire, some people sweat a lot. And when that dries, it's going to start smelling, it's going to be unpleasant, but you don't have to suffer. No, Mando is here to save the day. It was created by a doctor who saw firsthand how normal body odor was being misdiagnosed and mistreated. It is clinically proven to block odor all day and then control odor for up to 72 hours. It is baking soda free, it's paraben free, and it's pH balanced, so you can use it below the belt if you like. And as I said, it is clinically proven to control odor better than just soap and water or a shower alone, okay? Mando Starter Pack is perfect for new customers. It comes with a solid stick deodorant, a cream tube deodorant, and 2 free products of your choice, like mini body wash and deodorant wipes. Also, you get free shipping. So right now you can get $5 off a starter pack when you go to shopmando.com. Use the code Bisping to get the $5 off. That equates to over 40% off the starter pack when you visit shopmando.com and use the code Bisping. So it's Memorial Day. And I wasn't going to talk about this because it's kind of political, but whatever. But it's kind of an interesting conversation. In the UK, there's going to be a general election soon. Mm-hmm. And Rishi Sunak is the Prime Minister. Yeah, I'm not a fan. Let's just leave it at that. His latest thing that he's just come out with is national service for all 18-year-olds. They've got to do a year in the armed forces, mandatory national service, or they've got to volunteer at least 1 weekend a month in, like, I don't know what they call it, the special whatever.
Yeah.
But it's not mandatory, because if they don't do it, there's going to be no
consequences.
There's no consequences whatsoever. So I don't know what he's trying to do. But I will say this. I was thinking about it on the run. I don't necessarily think that's a bad idea. I'm not saying that everyone should be forced into the army. But this younger generation, we always talk about how soft they are and all the rest of it. That doesn't apply to everybody. But I think he's just trying to win over a certain section of the crowd for the election. However, never mind that side of it. If there's young men and women, of course, sitting around doing nothing, no prospects, no education, doing nothing, going nowhere, I think it's probably a good idea to throw him in the army for a year, get some training, get a bit of discipline. You know, in that respect, I'm not totally against it.
No, not at all. I think you're onto something there for sure. I'm not saying we should take young men and women and throw them into the military and then send them off to war.
No,
but I think, right, at least in America, there's plenty of those that want to do that. So, but I think if you take the ones that aren't, like, if you're not going to college, maybe you serve a year in the military and you go and learn how to do so. I think that, like, because there's a lot of trades in the military. There's construction jobs and there's a lot of things the military has going on in there that could help people kind of find their way. So we were kind of forced to go do something and, like, I don't know, get outside of the sitting on your couch doing nothing for a year, pretending that you're taking a gap year before you go to college. I'm not necessarily against that.
I'm not necessarily, and that's kind of what I'm saying as well. I'm not saying
I wouldn't want it to be instead of college. Like, if you got a kid that's going to college, you should let him go to college. But
no, if you got a kid that's going to college, if you got a kid that's got an apprenticeship, if you got a kid that's got some goals and some drive and working towards something. But if you've got a kid that's just sitting around and he's lost and he's feeling sorry for himself and he's woe is me and he's got no motivation in his life, then sure, I think that would be a fantastic idea. Give him a bit of regime, give him a bit of discipline. You know what I mean? Give him some training, you know, because as you say in the army, you can do all kinds of shit. I'm not saying it's the problem to everything, because when I originally heard it, I thought, what's this guy talking about? But then when I thought about it a bit more, I thought, well, that's for some people, that'd be the best thing that ever happened to them. Right. I tried to join the army when I was younger. Yeah. They wouldn't take me.
Me either.
The bastards.
Yeah, I tried to join the Marines. They wouldn't take me.
Why not?
Some of it was at the time. Some of it was my tattoos, and then criminal history. I'd been in some trouble.
Gang tattoos, gang affiliation, Smith.
yeah, the Nebraska gangs.
Hanging out with the neon Nazis is like, we don't want any of those. We had a fight added to the McGregor versus Chandler card as well. We never spoke about this last week. Ian Garry versus Michael Venom Page. A wise man predicted these things.
Yeah.
I remember I called for that ages ago.
Yeah. What do you think of that fight?
I think it's a great fight. I think stylistically it's perfect. I think a lot of people are going to be happy because, you know, Ian Garry's a polarizing guy. Of course, he has a lot of supporters. He's turned his comments back on Instagram. I had a look at some of his comments, and there was a lot of nice comments. I don't know why he didn't turn them back on sooner. But there's a lot of people that aren't a fan of his shtick, shall we say. He's just young and he's trying to promote himself and he's talking shit and maybe rubbing some people up the wrong way. And then after a while, you just say, F it, and you lean into it more. The Jeff Neal fight, he was able to use his height and his length and his speed and his footwork to kind of play it safe. So the reason I said people will be happy is because I doubt he can play that style against Michael Venom Page. So I think we'll see a really, really exciting striking affair.
He's going to be forced to fight. He's not going to be able to stick on the outside, play his game, be the longer, rangier guy and just pick people apart. That's for sure. We're going to have to see him get outside of himself a little bit. He's going to have to show that he's more than just a long, rangy striker that can keep people on the outside and pick shots. He's going to have to show that he's smart, that he can make good decisions, that he's fast and athletic enough to keep up with a guy like MVP. I don't know that. I think the problem is going to be, I don't know that he's got like that raw power to back MVP off, because Kevin Holland is kind of a knockout artist and MVP had no problem just darting in and out. So I think that's where Ian Garry's going to have a problem.
I think, though, to be fair, to give credit to Ian Garry, when he was fighting Jeff Neal, who again, heavy hands of steel, the real deal, Jeff Neal, he had a smart game plan. And it worked. And it wasn't the most satisfying performance for people in the crowd because they want blood and they want action and they want two men biting down on the mouthpiece and just swinging. But that was a calculated performance. Just because you have one fight like that doesn't mean you don't have the ability to switch things up. Like when I started my career, I was all forward right from the early days. I fought Chris Lieben and seeing Chris Lieben take so much damage and be able to still find the knockout. So my game plan for Chris Lieben was, I knew he was going to come forward, so pick him off as he was coming in, use a lot of angles and stuff like that, you know. So I think Ian Garry can pivot. I think he can go forward. But he is going to have to do that. He's going to have to bite down on his mouthpiece, because if he tries to pick him apart at range, I think that plays right into the hands of Makhachev and Page. Yeah,
and if he tries that, we may end up in a similar situation with the same reason we didn't get Michael Venom Page and Stephen Thompson. It's just two guys staring at each other in a mirror, like waiting for the other one to go.
Will we see Ian Garry go for a takedown?
I don't think so.
He's down at shooter box. His jiu-jitsu looks smooth.
I mean, yeah. So if he's taken any information from Kevin Holland, probably wouldn't. Kevin Holland's like a legit Travis Lutter black belt, really good, like knocked out Jacare from the bottom, unfazed.
Yeah. But that wasn't jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, but he was.
That was Kevin Holland just being a wild man and just going,
yeah,
you know what? Take that, you bitch.
Who's that comfortable under Jacare like that though, where they're just like talking shit and throwing strikes and not even attempting to get back up, like he didn't care.
Kevin Holland.
That's crazy. Yeah, that's crazy.
Because he is crazy, because he has that calmness of mind.
Yeah, I don't know. I think MVP's better on the ground than maybe we think. I think if he runs into a real heavy wrestler, like a Gilbert Burns is going to give him some problems. Like guys like that. Like Ian Garry just doesn't come off to me as like a real heavy top pressure grappler. Yeah, maybe. Yeah. Who knows? Maybe we just haven't seen it.
You never know. It remains to be seen. Herringbone, welcome to the show.
Herringbone.
Get a nice little fancy backdrop there.
Yeah. Oh, look at that. Okay.
What's your plans for Memorial Day, Harrington?
I'm at my destination. I'm pool partying. We're barbecuing a whole thing here. We got like a little gas retreat, and then just hanging out with my wife all day. It's gonna be great.
Oh, well, I apologize to be interrupting you with our obligations of the show. You know what I mean? Yeah. Sorry.
Anthony,
the world doesn't stop.
All good. I'm here. I look and sound better than I ever have before on the show. So
look and sound better than you ever have done in the studio. Let's do it from the pool party more often. Give us a non-MMA, but all these non-MMAs that you've put in there are pretty wild. A priest in Florida bit a woman to improperly receive communion. What's the other one that you put in? Give us number 4.
Four. Okay. This is a rough one. A woman is facing charges of false alarm to an agency of public safety and tampering with or fabricating physical evidence, 2 counts of false reports, and 3 counts of unsworn falsification to authorities after she lied about a man attempting to kidnap and assault her. The reasoning, he looked creepy.
So hold on. Just give us a little bit more details there. So there was a guy, she thought he looked creepy.
Yep.
She goes to the authorities and says what?
This man tried to kidnap me, force me into his car, and do untold things to me when I was in there. So because
she made it all up.
She made it all up 100%.
Because he looked creepy?
Yeah. She saw this guy, I think, a couple of times. He like worked nearby or something like that, and she happened to just see him a couple of times, and she got creeped out. And that was that. She went to the authorities, made that claim. The guy ended up doing 31 days in jail because of it.
Wow. Where was this again?
I believe it was Florida. Let me double check.
No surprise there.
Oh, well. I told you there's a bunch of weird non-MMA stories in there. And that was like the least weird one.
Hey, you remember that chick that made the phone call? It was a lady who made a phone call. It wasn't that long ago. The lady made a phone call to the 911, said that she was looking like she found a baby or something or like a toddler on the side of the highway, and stopped to it was on the phone with the police and hey, I found this toddler on the highway. And then pretended like she was screaming with someone back and forth on the phone and then just disappeared. And they like left her car, all of her stuff in the car, no baby, no toddler, no her, like disappeared for like 3 days and then just showed up again. And they found out that she made the whole shit up because she was going through a bad breakup.
Jesus Christ. Yeah, no, I mean,
people are crazy.
People are crazy. People are crazy. I like there's a lot of things you can say, but you got to be careful what you can say these days. But see, the problem is women tell lies.
Yeah, they do.
Men are crazy people as well.
Yes.
Hold on, who's this?
Yes.
Carlee Russell admits she was not abducted and did not see a child on the road.
Yeah,
why would you say that?
She just made it all like she ended up going. I think she's in jail over the whole deal now. Like I think she got sentenced to jail time.
Well, this woman that reported this guy for being creepy, she should do 31 days in prison.
No, she should do more than that. Just to set a precedent for other people. At least that.
At the bare minimum, lock her up for 31 days. Yeah,
that's insane. And it's so crazy how, and again, I'm not saying that everything that people say is untrue, but like, man, there's got to be more consequences for people that are lying on other people. When you tell a lie like that and you just change someone's life forever.
Brian says here she was sentenced to 1 year supervised probation, 100 hours of community service, and $18,000 in fines to the city of Hoover, Alabama. Well, that's not now. Is that the woman on the freeway or the woman?
That's the woman on the freeway. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's just a crazy person being a crazy person. Yeah. There was no victim per se.
No, not really. Not any like individual.
Like imagine being that guy. Imagine being that
could
guy.
you imagine being in jail? Like,
no.
I don't even know that chick.
Imagine you've got a wife and a family at home, children,
and kids,
and the police show up and say you tried to kidnap a woman, and it was all because you look creepy.
Talk about your feelings getting hurt too. Like I'm so creepy. I'm in jail. Like I'm so ugly that I'm in jail because of it.
You sat in jail and you're like, yeah, this is bad. And on top of that, I'm the creepiest looking guy ever.
Yeah, but like, I love my wife, but if like, I wonder what she would say. Like if the police show up and say, yeah, sorry, your husband tried to kidnap and, do, unspeakable things to this woman and kidnap her in a van or something. Like, what's my wife going to say?
Yeah. It's nice. Like, listen, babe, I'm telling you. This is not bullshit.
This is not like the other shit.
Do you know what they'd say? Well, she's not making it up for no reason.
Right.
She's not just coming out with that.
She knows your work schedule. Like,
there's a reason why this woman is saying this. And you're like, babe, I am telling you. This is bullshit. Look at me in the eye. I'm telling you, this is bullshit. As you're getting caught to the right in handcuffs.
Behind your back.
I love you. Send the lawyer. You're like, rot in hell.
Yeah, you.
You rapist.
What?
It's like
that's
Jesus.
That's crazy. And then you don't find out that, and then you don't get like, it doesn't get found out that you're telling the truth for a month. What kind of shit have you? Yeah, how much shit have you gone through for a month? She's like you ain't seen your kids because she ain't taking them to see no goddamn kidnapper in jail.
No, you're not fit around to be, and then when you come out as well, it'll still follow that guy around in his small town. Oh yeah, years from now, yeah, but you know what? Back in 2024,
the people working at McDonald's flipping burgers spit on this guy's sandwich.
Allegedly tried to kidnap a woman.
I think he did it.
Yeah, no, he got off with it. He's got a lot of money. He had a good lawyer. You know what I mean? He's never going to get away from that because of some crazy.
All because you're ugly.
Because you're fucking
really ugly.
Well, he is a creepy dickhead. I'm surprised that hasn't happened to Harrington, to be honest. I mean, come on, if the shoe fits. All right, this episode is brought to you by Fitbod, which is the smart workout app that is going to make working out for you easy. It's going to give you a wealth of knowledge, exercises, fitness regimes, and tools so you can become the best version of yourself. You can lose weight, you can get in shape, you can add muscle, you can stop overtraining, because the app is absolutely fantastic and it adapts to the available equipment that you have. So if you've got a gym, great. It will give you a all singing, all dancing workout. If you've just got a garage or a couple of dumbbells or whatever it is, just tell it what you've got and it will target and create a workout just for you. So Fitbod, as I said, it creates a personal workout routine based on your goals, your fitness level. It adapts as you improve. So each workout remains challenging. It will track all of your muscle recovery, and it is fine-tuned by experienced certified personal trainers. And there's over 1,000 high-definition demonstration videos, so you can learn the workouts the correct way. So right now, if you want to take advantage of the Fitbod app, all you got to do, by the way, you can try the app out for free. Try the app out for free. If you like it, you will then get 25% off your subscription when you go to fitbod.me/believe. fitbod.me/believe. Get 25% off. Try the app out for free. And it'll work out to less, for a year's access, less than one session with a personal trainer. Fitbod.me/believe. Try the app out for free or get 25% off. Speaking of crazy people, just to get back on the MMA vibe, another big fight at UFC 302. Sean Strickland returns against Paulo Costa. Important fight in the middleweight division. Do you know the curse about Paulo Costa?
Huh?
The curse of Paulo Costa is I think he has fought on 7 or 9 fight cards where title fights are going on, and the champion has lost every single time.
Yeah, I did. I forgot. Now that you said that, I remember it now. I remember reading it somewhere.
So, hold on. UFC 212, Aldo, me, Bisping, Cody loses to TJ, Joanna to Rose, Stipe to DC. Who's that one there?
Then DC to Stipe.
Usman to Leon, Volkanovski to Poirier. If you're Dustin Poirier, you're saying, so you're telling me there's a chance?
There's a chance. That's so crazy.
Yeah.
What a genius for the person that figured that out, too.
Curses aside, Paulo Costa, Sean Strickland, what do you think?
I know that I'm going to rub a lot of people the wrong way by saying
rub him.
Sean Strickland is so goddamn good that I don't know. I've only said this about one other person in my entire career in this sport or as an analyst. I don't know how anybody beats Sean Strickland. I don't know how he's lost anytime recently. He is so good, but he only fights with about 50% of his skill set because of just his mindset and the way that it is. And you've talked about how good he is, how good his grappling is, and all that stuff, ad nauseum. But when I did that the week of UFC 300, I trained in Vegas with Sean, and I was so blown away at how smart he is. Not saying I thought he wasn't smart, but his fight IQ, insanely high. His grappling, really good. Wrestling, really good. Wall wrestling, really good. Defensively on his feet, really good. His output is insane on his feet. He's really tricky. Moves his head, hard to hit. Good kicker. Like, all around good guy. Like, really, really, like, not just okay in all places. Like, very, very good everywhere. And really gave me serious problems on the ground. Like, when he would get on top, I can't tell you the last time when my goal was to like get the up and I couldn't. I can't remember the last time that was. Like he just held me down. He's so good. And
I've said it for years. He's really good on the ground, but we don't see it.
No, he doesn't. He just doesn't. He doesn't want to. It's just a want thing. So that said, I know that his coaches are working on him really fighting with his full skill set and like really kind of trying to drive that point home. So if we see even just a little bit of that, I don't see a way he doesn't win. But and that's not me shitting on Paulo. It's just I just have that direct experience with Sean of how good he is everywhere. Also, just to give him a little bit of love, he's an incredible teammate. Well, all we see online is how big of an asshole he is. and how he's sparring hard and yelling and screaming or whatever. He's like the captain at Extreme Couture. Like he's going around, he's fixing little things for people that nobody knows. And like, he's trying to help everybody. He's encouraging everybody. He's a very, very good teammate. But that aside, I think that Paulo's going to have a tough time just connecting. And I think he'll get tired trying to land on Sean.
Yeah. I mean, I trained with Sean for years and years and years. Right. But Paulo Costa is a problem for a lot of people. However, he's been inconsistent and he hasn't been particularly active. In 2017, I thought one fight in 18, one fight in 19, one fight in 20, one fight in 21, one fight in 22, didn't fight in 23. So his strength of schedule has been pretty much non-existent, just the occasional fight here and there. Right. So he fought in February, now he's fighting again. So I'm not saying it's ring rust or anything like that. It's just because he's choosing not to fight and because he's out there living his life and probably didn't feel the need to be doing that. Before his last fight, his coach was telling me that his mind is now right. And, there was definitely some weirdness going on, weren't there? Like showing up for the Marvin Vettori fight, 20 pounds heavy and all the rest of it. So
they fought at 205.
Yeah, but he's a beast of an athlete. He's got a hell of a chin. He can hit hard. He's athletic. He's not an easy man to take down. Yoel Romero couldn't really do it. So taking down defense is on point. Excuse me, down in water. I think it's a really, really tough fight. So I think Paulo's going to walk him down. I think that suits Sean because Sean, is more calculated than what he makes out. You know what I mean? Fight dick to dick, nipple to nipple. Here's the thing, guys. We're going to go to war.
Here's the deal.
Here's the deal, guys. But then he's strategic when he's in there. So I think Paulo's going to go forward. He's going to be swinging and stuff, and that'll suit Sean because he's happy to fight behind the jab, often on the back foot until he starts to, find the momentum and, do some damage. Then he'll go forward a bit. So, but yeah, I think it's a really, really winnable fight for both men.
Yeah, it's a really close, and they're going to fight. I mean, Paulo doesn't know how to fight any other way than just pure aggression, and Sean's fine with that. So I'm excited to see it. I think that's going to be one of the better fights on the card.
I think it's going to be a tremendous fight. And what else do we have as well? Hold on. Let's have a look at the rest of the card. Randy Brown, Eliezer Zalesko dos Santos, Jalton Almeida, Alexander Romanov, Kevin Holland. No, it is. And then Kevin Holland, Michal Olszewski. Michal Olszewski. Are you familiar?
I am. He was a middleweight.
He is.
Or he was a 205er.
So exciting.
Yeah, he's good too.
No, he's crazy. I mean, he's just pure aggression. You look at his fights. I'm just looking at his record here. It's win-loss, win-loss, win-loss. But it's lost in the first round to Pereira, who's on a roll right now, Michel Pereira. 1 minute into the fight. Before that, knocked out Chirienja Kwani. First round. Lost to Kyle Bohayo after a war. Beat Cody Brundage, round 1. Beat Sam Alvey, round 1. Lost to Dustin Jacoby. Beat Shamil Gamzatov, round 1. So he's definitely one of those kill or be killed type of guys.
But since he's been in middleweight, he's seeming a little bit more consistent. He's just in really tough fights. Like that guy's really, really tough.
Yeah. So and he beat Chirienja Kwani, who's tall, who's long, who's rangy, who's got beautiful Thai boxing and kickboxing. The reason I bring that one up is because look at Kevin Holland. Kevin Holland is tall, he's long, and he was able to beat that style. I think Kevin's going to have a hard time keeping him off him, but Kevin Holland's just got the ability to use those long arms, lock up Darce chokes and stuff like that. So I'm leaning towards Kevin Holland, but it wouldn't surprise me if Olszewski.
He's fast too.
He's really fast. But Kevin Holland has a chin, man.
Yeah, he does. He took some.
Has he ever been knocked out? I don't think he's ever been knocked out.
No, he took some pretty big shots versus Hamzat too. Took a couple really big ones off of MVP. Buckley landed some big ones when they fought. He's taken some big shots.
He's lost once via knockout. Who was that? I don't know. Let's have a look. Maybe it was early, pre-UFC. Hold on, I'm going all the way back. Who the knocked him out? beat Curtis Melander, lost to Thiago Santos, lost to Brendan Allen, Derek Brunson, Marvin Vettori, lost to Hamza. Oh, Stephen Thompson, TKO.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, but that was his hand was broken, though.
Yeah,
that was in between rounds.
Yeah, so on the record, it has 1 KO. That wasn't a KO. They stopped it at the end of the round because his hand was bust up and couldn't really continue. So he's never been knocked out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good for him.
All right, Harrington, give us a non-MMA. Come on.
Okay. So I thought this was interesting in our digital age where you never know exactly what you're looking at. Norway has come up with a new plan. Any ad that has been digitally altered to make someone look more attractive, make people prettier, thinner, whatever the case may be, it needs to have a warning label on it. The same way, cigarettes tell you, it tells you they cause cancer or, like along those lines. It lets you know when things have been digitally altered so that you're not comparing yourself to unrealistic beauty standards.
I think that's perfect. I think that's great.
Absolutely love that.
I mean, you've got 4 daughters, Anthony.
Yes.
The pressure that they're under in this modern day and age, because we say it all the time and we're kind of going over old ground, but with social media now, it's like the pressure for young girls especially, and young guys as well, but guys don't care as much as girls. Let's be honest. We want to be handsome. We want to be attractive. We want to be appealing to the other sex. Of course we do, but it's not the be all and end all. And not all women are like that either, but a lot of women, they want to be pretty. They want to be beautiful. Excuse me. I think that's fantastic.
Yeah, there's this, I need to find it. It's an Instagram page that I follow, and it's this guy that goes on there and he finds like fitness influencers that are selling their fitness programs or bodybuilders that are selling their products and their programs. And like, he'll go on and he'll find all their pictures that have been like photoshopped to make them skinnier or bigger or whatever. And so he'll say, such and such name, welcome to the show. And he'll go through and he'll just fucking trash all their photos and all their bullshit and all how their products don't work. And it's awesome but it's the same concept to where like, he's mad that these people are using these photoshopped and digitally, like edited images to make themselves look a different way so they can sell their product. So I think it's a great idea. I love that Norway's doing that.
Yeah. They should implement it across the bloody board, to be honest, because the advertising industry, it's just bullshit. It is absolute bullshit. All these drugs, all these products, all these supplements that are going to do this and they're going to do that. They don't work. What works is discipline, hard work, having a schedule, having a regime, getting out of bed and doing the work and eating a healthy diet, just being goddamn disciplined. All these supplements that say they're going to do this and they're going to do that. No, they don't. All these drugs that say, this is going to get rid of this. It's going to get rid of that. And you're going to have no inflammation. You're going to have no pain. I got prescribed all kinds of shit for my neck. None of it
works.
None of it works. It's all bullshit, and
as we both sit here and go,
none of it works. Oh, come on, no man alive. Only thing that does work is Ostarine. Do you know why I brought that up?
Why'd you bring that up?
Do you know why I brought up Ostarine? Because Ryan Garcia is positive.
Pretty well.
Yeah, Harrington, give us the lowdown.
So
if you're not too busy partying it up at the Copacabana, if you don't mind doing a bit of work.
Yeah, my drink's on ice. My burger's safely attended to. It's fine. So his B sample came back. It tested for the exact same things that the A sample tested for. He came out and said on his Twitter that he knows he's never going to make another dollar in boxing now, but says that it is a conspiracy against him.
There is no goddamn A sample or B sample. I hate this.
It's the same sample.
You pee in one cup, and then they separate it and put it into two, and then they call it A and B. It's the same pee. I don't know why we're pretending. I hate this. We're like, well, we got to wait on the B sample.
Well, no, they just tested
B samples or the A sample.
They just tested again to make sure there was no mistake.
Well, I know, but these other people are like, who knows? Maybe his B sample is going to come back negative. Yeah, I think it's unlikely, being it came out of the same stream of urine. It's the same shit.
I saw Brian look this up. He bought porn star Savannah Bond a $1 million engagement ring. I saw him buying an engagement ring for somebody else. It didn't look like Savannah Bond, but apparently it was on a podcast with Jake Paul, and they were talking about it. And then he FaceTimed her, but they've split up now. They're not together. But she's keeping the $1 million ring.
Oh, that bitch!
Let's have a look. Brian Garcia gets engaged to adult film star Savannah Bond. But I saw the video. It wasn't Savannah Bond. I'd recognize her.
Why are you so familiar with it?
I'm joking. Jesus Christ, bro. So Ryan Garcia, it's not going well.
No.
So he's tested positive. So he's got to get banned. Yeah. We went through all this stuff. Poor guy. He's broke up with his girlfriend.
Yeah.
And he's getting sued of Logan Paul.
Why?
Logan Paul is suing the shit out of him.
For what?
So it's defamation. He came out and said some pretty nasty things about Prime Hydration. And Logan Paul just had enough. Couldn't see his company slandered anymore. So he's taking legal action against Ryan Garcia. What was the tweet that Logan Paul put out there, though? He said something. He said, "Oh, great, I'm going to take all your money." It was something like that. I'm not sure. I don't know. Got to be careful what you say. You don't want to get slapped with a lawsuit. I think at the center of the lawsuit, or what does it say? You're a bitch. I'm going to take everything from you, including the food out of your kid's mouth. Go pray to your God. You're going to be sorry, like the kids in Gaza. I don't know if he really said that.
I don't know. That's it.
Because that's on the internet, I don't know. I don't know if Logan Paul's sending that. Do you believe that?
No, I don't think he'd say that.
What is that? Logan Paul responds and confirms that Ryan Garcia posted fake DMs mocking the death of kids in Gaza, and he doesn't even have his number. Yeah, I mean,
okay. So
that's a DM by the looks of it. but as I say, I don't know Logan Paul, but that I don't think he would send that text.
I don't think so.
No way. So I think at the center of the lawsuit, it's about, and I might be saying this, and this is all alleged because I don't want to get slapped with the bloody lawsuit. I think he said something like it was the Prime that caused him to test positive for Ostarine.
Oh, shit.
Now, if he did, and I don't know this to be fact, if he did say that, then I can understand why he would do that.
For sure.
To a certain degree.
That'll get you sued.
That'll get you sued. And I don't know for fact. And this is alleged, and I read it on Twitter. So don't come for Mikey B. Okay.
Logan Paul's pretty sue happy. He got some lawyers on speed dial.
Allegedly. No, but if you are saying that, then I can understand.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, 100%. If you said that about my company, you don't have a choice. You have to defend your company.
Of course.
You really have to.
You do. All right, this episode is sponsored by Shopify. If you are serious about your business, whatever it is that you're trying to sell, then obviously you've got to be online in this modern day and age. So if you have a business idea, if you have a business you want to take online, or you just got an idea, then there's no better way to put this into reality than Shopify. Shopify makes it so easy for you. It's not complicated, it's not costly, and it's not time consuming. Before you know it, you're going to be online, you're going to be accepting every single major payment method, and you'll be selling to the entire world. Shopify covers every sales channel, from an in-person POS system to an all-in-one e-commerce platform. It even lets you sell across social media marketplaces, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, packed with industry-leading tools. It gives you complete control over your business. You don't have to learn any new skills in code or design, anything like that. It's really simple. There's a 24/7 help available to you. There's also an extensive business library course if you do want to learn some more. As I say, Shopify is there to support your success every single step of the way. So now it is time to get serious about selling and try Shopify today. Okay. You will not regret this. Right now, you can sign up for just $1 per month. As I said, if you've got an idea, $1 a month. Take the plunge. It's $1. If you've got a business and you want to get online, Shopify.com is where you want to go. Shopify.com/believe, all lowercase. Shopify.com/believe to take your business to the next level today. And as I say, you can sign up for $1 per month right now when you go to Shopify.com/believe. All right, look, listen, I can feel the tension from everybody. You all want to get off. You all want to party. You all want to go drink it up. You know what I mean? Monday's a work day. Okay. So
we're all working.
Harrington and Brian, the hostile takeover in the background. So
Harrington's in a pool. No, that's why you got the background.
We'll wrap this one up, boys. If you got a question, send it into bympod@gmail.com. He's not even there.
And if you want to catch over 500 episodes you can't find anywhere else, completely ad-free and totally uncensored, head to Gas. Whoa. All right.
Get it together, Harrington. No. We're not redoing it.
If you're listening to the show,
take your mind off the margaritas.
If you're listening to the show on iTunes or Spotify, make sure to subscribe, leave a 5-star rating, positive review. It really helps out on those platforms. If you're watching on YouTube, make sure that you're subscribed to the channel and you hit that notification bell to find out whenever a new video drops. And if you want to catch over 500 episodes you can't find anywhere else, completely ad-free and totally uncensored, head to gasdigital.com, use the promo code BYM14, get a 2-week free trial, and check over 20 great shows on the network.
There we go.
We got there. The next, this question is from Mahmood, and he's asking about weight cuts.
What's up, BYM crew? Mahmood here from Toronto. Big fan for years. Was at your first one-man show here, Bisping, way back in the day, and we've been waiting for you to come back ever since, man. My question's about weigh-ins. I was just wondering if you guys had any thoughts on this proposal, I guess. What if rather than having the weigh-ins the day before, we'll just have them the day of, or better yet, as they're going into the octagon? That way, everybody would fight a lot closer to their natural body weight. There's no chance to rehydrate or try to get back up to their natural weight. And I've never really been a big fan of these rehydration tests. It seems like an overly complicated roundabout way to make people fight closer to their natural body weight. So why not just have them weigh in? Have the scale right at the apron of the octagon, and then if anybody's over, the purse swap happens right there. 20% from one guy automatically goes to the other guy, and if it's like egregiously over, if one guy has the right to not fight the other guy, and then that's just just do it that way. I heard Chael say it once years ago, and he's never said it again, and I've never.
Mahmood,
just wanted to get you guys.
My dude.
Love the show, guys, and Harrington, love you, buddy.
Mahmood,
my dude.
Listen, Mahmood,
my dude.
Jesus Christ, Mahmood. Listen, you started so well. Okay, so let's imagine we do it your way. We're just going to have them weigh in on the way into the octagon. And if someone misses weight, they have the right there and then for the fight not to go ahead. The main event, it's a title fight.
Islam Makhachev, Dustin Poirier.
Islam misses weight.
Mm-hmm.
Dustin says, I'm not fighting him. Everyone in the arena is going to be pissed that main event didn't go down. Everyone that bought the pay-per-view, they're all going to want their money back. People are still going to cut weight as they step on that scale.
That's the problem.
So then they're going to be in danger because they're going to be fighting in a dehydrated state. They're not going to perform well. The fights are going to be shitty. They're going to be in danger of CTE and brain damage and just running out of gas. Sadly, the best way to do it, the best way for it to be as safe as possible for the fighters is to do it the day before. But the reality is people are always going to find a way to try and game the system to give themselves an advantage.
I can't say it any better. The biggest problem with that is when you're dehydrated like that, you're dehydrating your brain and the fluid that protects it. People are still going to cut weight. You're overestimating the intelligence of us as fighters. Yeah. You're overestimating our intelligence. So if they say, well, you got to wait in the day of when the people are, instead of people saying, well, I guess I'm going to have to go up a weight class and fight in my natural weight, they're going to say, well, shit, now I got to cut weight closer to the fight. They're just going to change their weight cut times. That's it. It's going to push it back a day and they're still going to cut the weight. And
he even said he's not a fan of the hydration tests. You know what I mean? So how are you going to test them? You know what I'm saying? So it just doesn't work. It just doesn't work. I wish weight cuts. I feel your frustration, Mahmoud. All jokes aside, I understand what he's getting at. I wish people would just fight at their natural weight class. But when there's money involved, when there's titles involved, when there's opportunities to change your life, you're going to try.
There's not enough weight classes to do that either. There's not.
Yeah.
Like if you fought at your natural weight, what would you fight at?
205.
If I fought at my natural weight, what would I fight at?
225.
Yeah, there is no 225. Like that's the problem. I'd be fighting I'd fight Derek Lewis.
Yeah.
Like that's not fair.
There should be.
To be fair, Derek Lewis wouldn't be able to fight because he can't make 265.
There should be a super heavyweight. But you're right. There should be more weight classes. Now, I'm not advocating for a super heavyweight weight class because
you don't want all these fat slobs rolling in there.
Fat, out of shape guys just rocking up with a cheeseburger. You know, not that all big guys are like that, but you know what I'm saying.
There'd be a handful of guys that are sumo-sized wrestlers, like sumo wrestlers, are going to try to come in and fight, and that nobody wants to see that shit.
There should be a cruiserweight division, though, in my opinion.
225 would be nice.
McGregor was teasing something that him and Dana have an announcement. And a lot of people, again, are getting excited that it's going to be a 165-pound division. I don't think it's going to be that. But I would like to see that. I would like to see 65, 75, 85, 95. But we've had this conversation many, many times. Mahmoud, there's your answer. Brian, we got one more?
We do. This one's from Doug Norton, who usually sends in the challenge questions. But this one is about dog.
Nice.
Hi guys, my question is for Mike and for Rebecca if she's there. I'm sure you two would really be able to help me with this one. This is probably the only MMA podcast in the world to ever have a question coming in on dog handling, but here we go. This is Winton. Winton is our first dog. He is a 4-month-old Staffordshire Bull Terrier. He's an amazing dog, like 80% of the time. Amazing dog, well behaved, well trained-ish. And he's an absolute joy. But 20% of the time, which crucially is every day, he's an absolute nightmare. And he loves nothing more than attaching himself to my toes, socks, trousers, my wife's toes, socks, trousers, my daughter's toes, socks, trousers. You can see where this is going. I've tried everything. I've tried telling him off sternly. Doesn't give a shit. I try getting up and walking away. Just hangs on the back of the trousers again. So it's really difficult to know how to kind of get him to stop. But yeah, like I said, he's amazing the rest of the time. And he's got a lot of character, which I like. But the trouser biting's got to stop. So you guys are experienced dog owners, dog handlers. I see lots of conflicting information on YouTube. But I'd just love to know what you guys would do to get the nipped in the bud. Thanks. Love the podcast as ever. And you, Harrington.
Thank you for the question. Rebecca's gone downhill. Rebecca, what's your question? What's your answer?
Do what?
You're Rebecca now.
Oh, I'm Rebecca now. Okay. I was like, wait, is she coming? Like, is she in the background somewhere?
Because it should be Michael and Anthony, but anyway, whatever. Yeah. Rebecca?
I don't know that I would probably give this advice. I know what I do and it works, but anytime I have a dog that chews a bunch, like for whatever reason, we always have bully breed dogs, which is what that one looked like. They chew on hands and fingers, and they're not being mean. They're just nippy, right? I'll take my finger and I'll when they're chewing on whatever you don't want them to chew on, and you stick it in their cheek as their mouth is open. So when they bite down on something they're not supposed to bite down on, they bite down on their own cheeks and it hurts. So anytime that they're supposed to, like anytime that they're chewing on my fingers, I'll always just shove my finger right in their cheek. Not hard, like being mean or anything. I'll just hold it in the side of their mouth so that they're biting on their own cheeks when they're biting on something you don't want them to chew on. That's what I've always done, and it's always worked.
Hey, well, if it works, keep doing it. That looked like a puppy as well. That was a very, very young pup.
I was going to say that too. I think you're just going to have to just deal with that for a little bit. If you just, it's always worked for me with puppies, even like just put it in their little cheeks. They chew on it. They'll stop doing it. And then they come back. You do it again. It only takes a week or so.
Puppies will do that. Simple as that. I mean, it's teething. It's growing. It doesn't know. You just got to be disciplined with it. Tell it off. Put it outside. Give it a little one of those little things. You know what I mean? Rebecca. Let's see if she got an answer. Because we were talking about this last night. Rebecca, someone sent in a question. Just come here real quick and say, Anthony. Hi to Anthony. They all want to leave, babe, so you got to be quick. Hi. We had a question about dogs and what to do to stop the dog from chewing. But Anthony, I want to ask you this.
No.
Yeah, I said just discipline it. Take it outside.
Oh, yeah, there's a bit of that, yeah.
Give it a slap.
No, none of that.
Violence. No. Anthony, so we had this last night. We had a barbecue. And, there's a lot of meat around.
Yeah.
And the dog comes. He's wants a little feed. So I chuck him a bit of food here and there. Okay?
Yeah.
She gets mad.
I get mad.
Why?
Because then they just whine and beg constantly. And it pisses everyone off. It's very annoying.
It doesn't whine.
He does.
No, because what happens is,
and then you say, Harry, F off, right?
No.
Yes, so he does. And the poor dog doesn't know whether he's coming or going. Sometimes he gets fed. Sometimes he gets told to F off. So just don't feed him. He won't beg. Like whenever I eat, he knows not to beg for me because he knows that he won't get fed. And if I've got leftovers, I'll give it to him at the end.
Yeah,
Great advice, everyone. Do it.
Yeah, no,
don't be a softie. Teach your dog some discipline.
Well, I prefer to show my dog a bit of affection here and there. And if I'm full, and
they don't care about
the scraps
that.
on my plate. And
they want some raw meat.
And I'm like, here, I have my scraps. And she's like, no, don't do that. I'm like, listen, because I have the ability. When I do that, he knows.
He's out. Yeah.
He knows. That's it. That's your lot.
Mine never come near me. As soon as Alani, the 2-year-old, is in her little high chair seat, the dogs just hover. Because anything she doesn't want to eat, she's like,
it's gonna be scraps.
Yeah.
She's dropping that shit. She'll wait till nobody's looking. She'll start sliding it off of her tray. So they don't leave her side when
They're
she
not
eats.
Stupid.
But what about you, Anthony? Do you give a little scrap here and there?
I used to, but the Frenchies gained so much weight. They were like 40 pounds. So we switched them just recently to an all raw food diet. So they're eating 100% raw food twice a day. So it's really dirty and nasty and there's blood and shit. It sucks. But
it's expensive too.
It is.
For you. Do you have to buy it or can you eat?
I just buy it because it's just easier because it's 80% raw meat, 10% organ meat, and 10% bone, and it's all ground together. So like I couldn't get the right mix together.
Blend.
Yeah, I couldn't get the right blend. So yeah, it is kind of expensive. And we switch between turkey, chicken, and beef to like keep them balanced, I guess.
The rotation of the proteins.
So now anytime
they don't get bored.
Well, they're used to free feeding. Like 6 months ago, we just fed them whenever they were hungry, or we just kept the bowl full. But now that we're on raw food, anytime you walk in the kitchen, they're like, "What the? What's he doing? Is he gonna feed us?"
What's he gonna be?
They don't know what to do.
Every time he hears a rapper, we could be opening like,
oh God, I don't know, an Amazon package.
Yeah, he's like, ooh, food. That's because
these guys are insane. Anytime I walk in the kitchen, they're just like, I think it's time. I think he's gonna give me that shit again.
Well, so every night when I go to bed, I take up a gigantic beaker of water. Anytime I do that, it's like, oh, it's bedtime. I'm like, dude, it's 7 o'clock in the morning. But when we go to bed, we do the water and then we give him a treat. That's like the little routine. And then he gets the treat and he runs off fast and
comes back for another one because he knows that I give him one as well.
Yeah.
But I know dogs need to know where they stand. They need routine and no feeding at the table. That's all I'm going to say.
Anthony's ready for a barbecue.
Yep.
Brian's ready for a barbecue.
Okay. We had ours yesterday.
Are you guys having one today?
We had it yesterday.
You should have another one.
Harrington's ready for a barbecue.
Okay.
We've got a very hostile crowd.
Your people?
Harrington's at the barbecue already.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yes, not doing his job. Flubbed the only line that he had.
He's multitasking. Oh.
Hi, Rebecca.
Hey, how are you?
His setup's never looked so professional.
I like the backgrounds.
Yeah.
Does not look like he's at a barbecue.
Yeah. Well, we're going to allow them. We're going to free them from their hostility.
Be free. Enjoy your Memorial Day.
Yes, happy Memorial Day, everybody. And we'll be back on Thursday. Oh, Thursday, we've got a couple of great guests. We've got Bobby Green. Who else we have as well? We've got a couple of good people coming up on Thursday. So don't miss Thursday's show. Anthony, I allow you to go and enjoy yourself.